rotate your phone.
No, you can't turn your phone while recording. Okay, well, I'm going to go. Okay, start over. No, you got to just go back. Get out of it. Just get out of it. Just go back. Go back. Delete video.
Okay.
All right, now touch your live. Now turn it sideways.
That's what I did.
Now you should be okay. Okay, hang on, I was live there. Oh, I'm still live. Okay, I'm sorry about that, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
We're over here doing instructions.
We're trying to do double live.
Yeah,
so,
hey,
there we go. Okay.
Yay. Okay, so hey, LA, Imogene, thank you all. Y'all might share this around or tag some people in it for me. I tagged a bunch of people we were going on. I'm going to show you before we get started.
Yeah, look at that black eye.
Look at that black eye I have. So it looks like I've been in a war zone.
Yeah, I told her she has to slow down turbo.
Oh, yeah.
And especially going down the stairs. But anyway, I am in Tennessee. I am with Connie Reguli, who most of you who follow me know is the attorney that absolutely positively fights for our children who are being taken and manipulated by a system that we call Child Protective Services. That's a $77 billion profitable entity. Anytime you add profit with children in the mix, you have disaster. That's it. And so we are here for Wendy and Wendy Hancock. And tomorrow will be quite interesting because I'm basically the court watcher. And
Along with some other people. We have some other people joining us.
And we will be reporting on what we actually see transpire. Now, I want Connie to because I know a lot of you had some questions. And Patty's here too.
Yeah.
We had some questions on your Facebook on a post that I made asking for court support. And the bottom line is, what we're faced with is basically the manipulation tactics that DCF will use in any capacity to stop anyone. And that's not limited to advocates. That's not limited to parents. That's also inclusive of the attorneys that fight for them. And what we're dealing with tomorrow morning is the trial for Wendy, and in which Connie was actually charged with a felony for facilitating the felony allegedly that Wendy made, which...
As her attorney.
I can't wait. I just can't wait till tomorrow. I can't wait. Because I wouldn't be here if I didn't know better, right? I mean, Connie is probably one of the most trustworthy, on the books, transparent attorneys that I know. And what is transpiring here is absolutely ridiculous. You have everything from allegations that are being made under a law that doesn't even apply, that the judge then came in and took the law away from the jury and changed it to his own definition. Can't do that. I mean, you have judges having ex parte orders being done in other counties, hiding it from the attorney who's called multiple times. I mean, the list goes on. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give all of you, detail by detail, as a taxpayer and as a witness to what is actually going on. And people need to start paying attention, because here's the reality. Children are paying the price. Now, it may not be your child today, but your child will inevitably go to school with the children that were traumatizing. And might I remind you that Harvard was very clear in its study in November of 2019 that children sustain brain damage by this kind of removal from entire family structures, and it's permanent. So you all can sit back and think that this doesn't affect me. I have no what do they say when they have no fight in the no dogs in this fight. There you go. But that's absolutely false, because it's going to affect you, whether it be directly or indirectly. The bottom line is, this agency called Child Protective Services is not protecting children. They are harming children, and it has to stop. And nobody seems to worry about it. So needless to say, all of you know I've had my own trauma, and I will, even through my own pain, my own depression, I can't sit back. I just can't and watch this happen. I will not. I will not. So I'm up and I'm out, and I'm determined to expose these people, because where's the governor? Where's the governor of this state? Where's the attorney general of this state? You got judges making orders to a jury that absolutely violates the Constitution of the state and federal government, and we're just okay with that? So judges get to make the law? No, not in my world. Not in the United States that I believe in. And so tomorrow, my goal is to give you guys updates frequently as to what I'm seeing. I will be taking notes vigorously. And we are determined that Connie will be acquitted right along with Wendy, because we have to save Wendy. Wendy didn't do anything wrong. So do you want to tell a little bit about the story and what transpired, how we got here?
Yes, I do. And anybody who's followed me for a couple years or has seen Wendy and I did probably 20 different live videos during the course of it, of what was going on, which is one of the reasons why they're really pissed at us. From the very beginning of this case, I met Wendy through Family Forward Project back in 2014-15. She's out in DeKalb County, which is about an hour and a half from me. And she came to me when DCS was in her backyard again, and they had done this to her year after year after year, gone to school, interrogated her children, threatened her, had her make her have counseling services in her home. She was so cooperative. She cooperated all along the way, and she finally just got fed up. And so in 2015, she called me. I went out. I appeared in court. We basically got the case dismissed by an email. I mean, Wendy and I kind of chuckled about that, because we were all ready. We were ready to go to trial, and they send me an email and said, we're not going to prosecute the case. Again, 2015. All right, so fast forward to 2017, and they're at it again, and Wendy has a teenager that's causing some problems, and Lord knows, you know, teenagers can cause problems for families. So
it's inevitable.
DCS got involved again, and this time I was not going to let them start interrogating her again. So I called the DCS worker, Deandra Miller. I know we have some people from DeKalb County that's part of our Family Forward Project. I called her up. I recorded the phone call. I said, Dee Dee, Wendy has an attorney, and you are not to speak to her. You are to call me first. And she said, I don't think I'm supposed to be talking to you. And she hung up on the phone on me. And I posted that recording, and she got pissed off, okay? She got really mad. So again, fast forward.
But hold on, before you fast forward, because I want to bring up a very valid point here, guys. When somebody retains an attorney and you have a government entity that can bypass your right to counsel, your money that you've paid to retain an attorney, and they can pass notes between one another saying, don't talk to the attorney, just bypass them. There's a problem there.
Yeah, and remember, we pay for these people, right?
Yeah, our taxpayer money pays for these people.
And now in Tennessee, DCS is $1 billion a year.
Yeah.
It goes up $50 million a year.
Well, it's $77 billion every year
Right.
in our country.
Right.
Profitable.
Right. So fast forward again, a few months later, DCS gets involved again. Her son is on probation in juvenile court. He's, you know, smoking some pot, doing some bad things, and I'm not even going to get into all the details.
I will later.
But he ultimately lets his girlfriend move into the house with Wendy, and she gets fed up. She kicks the girlfriend out of the house. She kicks the girlfriend out, and then he goes whining and crying to DCS that his mom's beat him up, and she's a drug dealer, and she's a terrible person. Now remember, Wendy has a 11-year-old child in her home, Briella, who's as precious as she can be, and never did anything wrong. She has a partial disability. Wendy has a partial disability. And so on August the 6th, 2018, they initiate another investigation and go to Wendy's home. That is on a Monday.
But that
okay?
was all predicated, though, on a Facebook post.
Well, first it's just predicated on him causing trouble at home. The first incident where they came to the home and he knocked the doorknob off the door and tried to get into the home when she told him he wasn't coming back in. And so then he goes to school on Tuesday, and then on Tuesday night he decides to run away, And then on Wednesday, he does a Facebook post saying my mom's a drug dealer. Okay, so that then gets DCS all stirred up. So Wendy calls me. She goes into the police department on August the 8th. He has her sign a Miranda warning. She's not even under custody to file a missing persons report on her son. And then he starts to interrogate her about her missing child, and she's very honest with him. So that's on Wednesday, the 8th of August, 2018. By the 10th of August, I'm like, okay, I'm diving in both feet here because this is like going south, right? Yep. And she had called me, and I said, give me the phone number. So I called Dee Miller, Deandra Miller, DeKalb County, DCS, and she admits this. It's in the notes. It's in the state's evidence. She admits that I called her on August the 10th, 2018 at about noon. Well, she says she didn't get the message until Monday. Now, if you're doing...
Now, hold on. Because she says she didn't get the message, but she was clearly working this case, and she went and got an ex parte order out of another county and then filed it 15 minutes before the courthouse closed on that Friday. Right?
No, she's going to file on Monday.
Or on Monday.
Don't jump ahead of me here.
Okay.
Now. But clearly she's got a call history. I mean, we all have call histories on our phone. We can see who called, right? And this is on a Friday. Okay, it's not like it's on a Saturday or Sunday. And then the detective calls and tells Wendy to come in. And I'm like, no, you're not coming in. And so I call the detective and I say, don't talk to my client without her attorney. And I say, and I've had this recorded and I've let Jennifer read it, and I say, is there anything emergent that I need to go over with my client over the weekend? And he says, no. That's Friday, August the 10th.
But then again, he was in a hurry.
He was in a hurry because he had to do a YouTube video, a lip sync challenge, which is posted on August the 10th.
So the missing child wasn't important, right?
Right, because he would not wait an hour and a half for me to drive to DeKalb County, which I offered to do. Now, I did not know at the time, but 15 minutes later, he goes and he takes a warrant out on Wendy. Misdemeanor warrant. He doesn't call her attorney, who he knows is an attorney. He doesn't call her attorney and say, oh, by the way, we've decided to take a warrant. Can you turn yourself in? Can you get her turned in? Which we would have done. We do that. I mean, that's not unusual, right? And so he doesn't do that. He doesn't call and let me know. He's already told me there's no emergency. So Wendy is kind of nervous about what's going on. So Monday, let's go then to Monday, August the 13th. The day, August the 13th. So I start calling the clerk's office, and I ask the clerk's office if there's been a petition filed. No, no petition. Now, this is a small county. There's like 2 people who work there, right? And so they said, no. So I call Dee again. I called Dee, and she admits it and left her a message. Oh, wait a minute. On Friday, I also called and left a message for Dee's supervisor, Mary Baker. Okay, so let's just assume that Dee didn't work on Friday, August the 10th. Let's just assume that her supervisor didn't work.
Well, but let's go back to the Friday, because don't forget, the detective was told not to contact you, right?
Yes. So now I know that...
Imagine that.
Yeah, from the detective's notes that he's turned in as state's evidence, 15 minutes after I talk to him, he talks to the DA in DeKalb County. The DA tells him not to talk to me. Not to talk to me.
And to go ahead and file the warrants.
And to file warrants. All right, so I've left a message for Mary Baker, left a message for Dee, and then we go to Monday, August the 13th. Again, I called Dee at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. I call the detective again. We're going to get rained on. Okay, hold on. We're going to move inside.
Yeah. We are. Hold on. Well, we can just move up here, actually.
No, you think? Okay.
We're good. There we go.
Can you hold that?
Okay, we had to
Back up a
switch
little
because
bit.
it started to rain.
We had to get out of the rain. So on Monday, the 13th, I call the detective again, leave him a message, and he does not admit to that in his report. But again, I say, please call me back so we can come out and talk to you. I call Dee again, 1 o'clock. I do not know that she is already on her way to the next county with a petition against my client and asking for an ex parte order.
To take the children.
Right.
To take Brianna, the child, the girl.
Right. And according to DCS policy, state and federal law, they're supposed to attempt a relative placement. Well, they call Grandpa, and he says, "Sure, we'll take her, but we can't take Chance. He's too much of he's too much problems." Which, by the way, Chance is an adult now, so it's not like he's a child. And so they're
facing
like,
ramifications.
Yeah, and he's facing, and I'm not even going to get into those details. But because the grandfather said he could not take the unruly teenager, they refused to allow him to have his innocent granddaughter. Call her B. Yes, I'm sorry about that, B. So they take B across state, 200 miles away, put her in a culturally challenging environment in many, many ways, and end up taking Wendy to jail. So this is going to unwind. There's some details that we've left out on this that we're going to let unfold. I mean, I was there. I know the facts. We have all the state's evidence. We know what the witnesses are going to testify to. That's already been provided.
And I read through all of it.
Yes.
And it's so disgusting that I'm even having to be here to watch this happen. But here's the gist. They didn't do anything wrong. This is retaliatory, and this is what I talk about when I talk about standing up to DCF. They are retaliatory in nature. They have a God complex. They do not care anything about these children, because if they did, they wouldn't be there. This is why they have a high turnover. Because when people go to work for DCF and they figure out what's actually happening to these children, they quit. They quit. This is why some people that I've worked on their cases have had 7 and 8 caseworkers. There is a reason for that. But the reality is this. This is retaliatory against her. That's all this is. She will not shut her mouth. She is exposing and shedding light using her constitutional right to freedom of speech. And they're coming after her 7 ways to Sunday. So the bottom line is this. Wendy nor Connie did anything wrong. Nothing. They did nothing wrong. DCF was very intentional in hiding. The police were very intentional in hiding. And they were setting this up because they want her.
And they got a judge in another county.
Yep.
They went to another county to get a secret order.
Yep. And that's all in black and white, guys. So, Wendy has had to endure the stress.
Yes,
of
a lot.
All of this.
A lot.
That has impacted her child, her family. It has impacted you tremendously, lots of hours. And so tomorrow, blow by blow, we're going to expose it. I'm going to expose it. Because I will stand for my freedom of speech. And this is a public hearing. I am a taxpayer. And I will absolutely 100% call it out as it happens, just like I see it. Uh-oh. Whoops.
And just so we're clear, I want to let you know, I will be a witness, so I will not be in the courtroom. And the lives for the next 2 days will be off of Jennifer's page, Jennifer Winn. If you're not...
Well, I think I can go to Family Forward, though, can't I? Or should I just do it off mine?
We're probably for the next 2 days, just to make sure that we're covered and we're not... Nobody accuses me, which I already know what everybody's going to say.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like there.
Yeah. But for me, you know how I am. When it comes to reporting, whether I'm at the Capitol, whether I'm in a courtroom, I will clearly and identifiably call it like I see it. The corruption has got to stop. And until we stand up and demand it stops, nothing's going to change.
That's right.
Nothing's going to change. And one of these days, your kid will be going to a school with serious damage.
Traumatized children.
And that's going to inevitably make you wish you would have stood up.
And so many people call me all across the country, and especially Tennessee, and they say, my attorney won't do anything. My attorney won't do anything.
And shame on you.
My attorney won't present evidence. My attorney won't challenge them. My attorney won't do anything. And I say, well, this is why. This is why.
This is
Because
why.
if you have an attorney who tries to stand up for your rights, who tries to meet with them, who tries to resolve things, which remember,
follows the law.
right, and it's supposed to be about child safety. It's not a law enforcement agency. It's about child safety. That's what the department part of it is called. The department. So ours is the Department of Children's Services, and the subdivision is the Department of Child Safety. So
Well, they're not child protecting anything. They are harming children. And every one of us that stand back and do absolutely nothing are to blame.
And you can forget the border.
Yeah.
You can forget that they're bringing children, migrant children over and putting them in cages. I'm going to tell you, our own children, at the tune of 687,000 children as we stand here today, are being detained.
Yes.
They are being harmed.
Yes.
So,
And we're letting it happen by
Yes.
refusing to get engaged. So when I hear people cry about the system, well, they took my children. I mean, right now I have so many messages in my inbox, just from the few posts I've made, has instigated people to start saying, call Jennifer Winn, call Jennifer Winn, call Jennifer Winn. And message her. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Because you think they're scared of just little old me? Absolutely not. Like I told somebody asked me this years ago, and I've said this multiple times. Somebody said, well, what do you think they'd do if we went to the Capitol and had 100 people out there? Nothing.
nothing.
What do you think they'd do if we went to the Capitol and we had 10,000 people standing on their lawn? I don't know. But 100,000?
Maybe.
A million? Yeah, we've tried to do the Million Parent March how many times? And we'll get 500, 600, 700 people, and that's about the extent of it. Well, that's not going to happen. There are so many millions of families that have been affected by this agency, and none of you are doing anything. Why? Fear. Fear. You cannot stand in fear. You have to stand up, because all you're doing is enabling this agency to continue to cash in our kids, harm them, traumatize them. They are being violently beat. They are being killed. They are being molested. And don't come at me as, well, I'm doing it to help the kids. That's like saying that you're helping the drug addict by giving him some more Loratab. Don't tell me that. Because that is not the solution. The solution is to call them out, literally and factually, and stand up and put a stop to it. Don't tell me you're enabling is somehow helping these children as they transfer from home to home with a trash bag. Okay? Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that the people who aren't getting background checks because they can slip through the system and be a foster care provider while they're hiding the fact that children are becoming pregnant by their foster family, by their foster parent. They're hiding that in Salina, Kansas. And you're telling me that that's the best interest and that's all we got? Get out of here. I'm over that. If you're an enabler, you're an enabler. And I'll call it like I see it. And that's the simple fact of the matter. So tomorrow, we're going to absolutely blow this case up. Wendy, I don't believe in any fashion you're going anywhere. Connie, I don't believe you're going anywhere either. And if that means I have to make multiple trips and I have to start putting protests together and I have to pull permits to come down and visit your courthouse, you better believe I will. I will. And I will not stop. I will spend every dime I've got to make that happen. So tomorrow, be paying attention. Share these videos because they are absolutely shadow banning. Shadow, is that what they call it? Shadow banning. They've been shadow banning me for a long time. But you need to share them. You guys need to have these conversations with your aunts, uncles, cousins, mom, dad. You need to tell them what's going on. Our churches, you guys, you preachers should be at the pulpit condemning this. And instead, you're out there ramping up foster providers.
Yes, exactly.
So they can get a paycheck. I mean, we got preachers that have 8 children, and you're bringing in $6,000 and $7,000 a month, and then you want to call yourself a Christian? I call you a hypocrite.
When most of those children are removed for poverty.
Yes, absolutely. It's so disgusting, guys. But nonetheless, we will be back tomorrow. Please keep sharing, and I will be updating live as I exit the courtroom, because I'll go straight out on the sidewalk and make videos if I need to. Otherwise, I will be doing it at lunch, and then I'll do it at the following
Mm-hmm.
unless something comes up that I feel like I can't contain. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, be paying attention. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.